Fox here. So, welcome to my Madden 26 review. A lot of things to go through, from Ultimate Team to gameplay. This is my review, remember? So, like, gameplay is going to be a big portion of it. Like, half of the grade is gameplay, but things like Superstar, audio, things I don't really care about as much are definitely not going to factor into the grade as much. So, we're going to go through basically down the list here and give our thoughts, with the most important thing being gameplay, right? And I've seen a lot of like the meta so far, and I've been, screwed over a bit, I guess, by some players. I've seen, the degens at the high elo go off at me. So I see a lot more flaws than I think maybe others do right now. So while I see a lot of glazing online, I agree with it. Like I said, it is the best football gameplay of this generation. I gave it an 8.5, and I think a lot of people do have it graded higher than myself. But overall, it's pretty good, right? Overall, I think EA did a good job putting football on the field this year, much better than CFB, in my opinion, as far as a lot of the decisions they've made. Let's go through the good right away. So the good, best gameplay at launch I can remember, right? Madden 25 at launch was awful, right? Madden 25 didn't get good till we got some abilities like pick artist on the field. Offense is still a little bit more powerful than defense. We'll talk about that because, playbooks are the best ever, but truly only on offense. Defense is still struggling a lot. Like, a lot of guys are like dancing before the plays still, and it's hard to put them in a position. But like, overall, playbooks improved. Defense is like slowly getting there. There's still a lot of locks and things on players that I don't truly like, but good job on playbooks. The best they've ever been, along with CFB playbooks. Same thing. Updated the boom tech, aka the tackling system. It's still not perfect though. Interceptions get caught, which is a huge breath of fresh air. Probably the best interceptions have got caught since like pick artists are everywhere, any sort of year ever. Blocking has been upgraded with some exceptions, but it is better. It is better. Still major flaws, don't get it twisted, but it's better. Pass rush is okay on launch, but it's almost like stats don't matter. Like, I got like a TJ Watt card. He's like 74 speed, so really slow, but he's gonna like insta shed everything because his finesse moves so much higher than everybody else. But it doesn't really matter, which is frustrating. When like the players don't play like they should on the field. Like, stats should 100% matter, and not just the physical ones like speed, acceleration, change of direction, height, weight. Stunts have been added. Awesome. They're really cool. Some of them are much better than others. Like, almost every stunt is not great. Text 4-man, I think El Paso's pretty good, but the rest of them don't really generate any much of a pass rush more than just a stock 4-man, which I'm actually okay with. I'm okay with stunts being a little bit of window dressing that you got a blitz behind to get true pressure out of, because like, it should be there for the sim crowd, like myself at times when I'm playing Dynasty, more so than like the online, like A-gaps and stuff like that are just miserable for online gameplay. So I'm fine that they're like window dressing, but pass rushing is pretty similar between the two, with the exception of like maybe the opponent like slides wrong and stuff. So there's like a little chess game in there with them that I don't think we fully unlocked yet. Weather upgrades. You guys have seen the snow come down. It's pretty nice. It's a lot more realistic now. Oh, we're not down the bad yet. Unique animations for certain players, like the Caleb Williams jump throw, Mahomes cross body. It's like he's got like no look Deadeye built in. Love it. Custom zones are a nice idea, but hard to get on field. Okay, so good stuff added to the game. Just overall, enjoyable time. Like I said, best gameplay experience. I'm not going to go ahead and glaze anymore because I know what you guys are here for. What is wrong, Fox? And the list is long. Eggs. Eggs are probably the most noticeable thing on a game-to-game basis. Getting cheated out of it myself. Here's how I lost this game yesterday. Here it is on the old Twitch chat. So it's 7-7 in the fourth quarter. He has a running back wheel route, okay? So I've manned up, 4-man rush. Maybe I should have had a better, I don't know what I'm saying, but here it is, running back wheel route. So that's 5'9" Chase Brown going against what ends up being a double team here. And Chase Brown at 5'9" dunks on Ray Lewis, one of the greatest linebackers of all time, on an egg catch. And I think the most frustrating part of this is, like, Lewis got egged on, okay? He couldn't get the knockout right here because this guy decided to go up like Michael Jordan. And then the worst part is Xavier Watts, the trail guy, the highest overall card in the game, did nothing, right? Isn't that Xavier Watts? I think that's Xavier Watts right there. He didn't even like try and punch the ball out, didn't animate whatsoever right there at all. He got like a tackle after he already got the touchdown. So a lot of frustration, I think, in an online competitive game mode. The fact that guys are going up like, Madden 16 again and just specking you, generally a terrible read, right? Now, if that was like, say, I don't know, Megatron dunking over Ray Lewis, I'd be a little bit more okay with it. At least one-on-one and stuff, but in a game like this, in a competitive mode, they need to be better with that. So that's the number one thing you'll see on a game-to-game basis that makes the game bad. And I think the number one complaint, because there are all those funny clips of random weird things happening. Like yesterday alone, I remember he threw a ball, it hit off it was like an intersection, and the ball went 50 yards flying. That's just funny, right? That's the first time that's happened to me all year. Who cares? I can get over that. But the lack of defensive counters to just the throw up of the offense makes me want to throw up, okay? So that's the number one bad thing in the game right now that you'll see on a consistent basis, but you'll see a lot of these too. Zones are still dumb too often. It's kind of weird because, I'll get more into zones in a second. All right, I'm just going to put that note. I got more notes below. Loop blitzes confuse your line. There was no reason for a player on a blitz, on a 4-man rush. So it's 3 get down linemen and a guy from the second level. He runs around the guard, he runs around the center, and then the guard lets him go in front of his face and doesn't react to it. Absolute awful AI, and there's no reason it shouldn't have been patched after Loop Blitz being meta last year, okay? Next up, adjustments still take too long for the quarterbacks. My suggestion, because Lamar's out there dancing, Mahomes, Cam Newton's cards, point to the air and do the disco. It makes the cards not fun to play with, and you need to get generic guys and generic animations. Otherwise, right, because the defense can give you so many overloads, like nickel blitz, you got to do so many things just to take care of, whether it's a man-to-man blitz, whether you got to motion your running back in order to get better leverage outside, block your tight end, put your route set up, slide your line, take the line slide off, which we'll talk about in a second. There's just so many things you have to do that these animations taking so long is not fun. Make the game fun, EA. The game being fun is more important than anything else. Comp doesn't matter. Sim doesn't matter. Fun matters. And this isn't fun. So my suggestion was, if you're at the line of scrimmage for 8 seconds, just make everything go. Just let me do whatever I want. 8 seconds should be long enough for the defense to set up whatever defense they're in. Let me go bing, bang, boom, boom, boom. Obviously, if I flip the play, that's different. Flipping is bad because it resets nickels and it doesn't really adjust on the defense well. So I would not count it if they flip the play. But 8 seconds at a line of scrimmage in the same setup, let me do whatever offensive line adjustments, hot routes I want. All right. Flipping is too powerful. Just talked about that. Hurry up still isn't punished. I don't know why. Fatigue doesn't seem to matter a lot of times. Lead blockers need work badly. How many times have you had a guy go through a hole? You're like, oh my God, this is a touchdown. And the lead blocker decides to run into the back of an offensive lineman that's already there. It's very annoying. If I get my lead blockers blown up, if I have, I don't know, a generic fullback running through the hole and Ray Lewis meets him there and blows him up, I'm like, all right, I failed, man. All right, I lost the interaction against a better player. But when I see that same fullback decide to get the the Wile E. Coyote running legs behind my left tackle, and then they just scrape through the hole and tackle me, I'm like, this game's bad. So it's a problem. It feels like the lead blockers are on rails too often, and they don't understand and don't get the guy that they're supposed to get, which is very, very frustrating for runners and basically everybody. I might be dumb, which is probably true, but I can't see run blocking assignments like college football. What's the button presses for that? Is that even in the game? Run leverage was a lie. So run leverage is basically, okay, so the DT is in the B gap. So center guard, you're running to the hole that you're assigned to, and the guard's got the guy like this, right? And so you're running off the guard's back. Instead of getting the gap they have, when you switch directions, the guy insta swims the other direction. It's it doesn't even matter. Even when your guard is better blocking than they are on run defending, because you adjust to a hole, they instantly adjust there too. And that's something also a major problem with the left joystick we'll get to in a second. But the leverage doesn't really matter because guys will insta switch leverage on you. Now, if it's that happens in real life, don't get it wrong, but it happens as much as I see it happen. And you can't run. When you run off the running back, you run on the butts of the lineman. And when you run on the butts of the lineman in this game, you get punished too often. And so run leverage, finding the right hole, oftentimes is not true. So there's a speed burst truck glitch with quarterbacks. Take the snap of the ball on a pass play, hold on the right trigger, and start hitting the truck behind the line of scrimmage, and the guys will like speed burst out. You can also do it in the open field with like big tight ends and stuff. It's awful. That will hopefully get patched. The scum kick, basically they kick it to a spot in the field where your returners don't get to, and that you get it down to like the 2-yard line. That's probably going to get patched. They patch it every year. Kicking also sucks with lag. The new kick meter, I don't know why they keep changing up every single like few years. Like the kick meter is now new. Now you're going to have skill to use it. And I'm like, what? You're just changing back to the old one. When you changed to this new one 5 years ago, you said now you're going to need skill to use it then. You're clearly just making things up, right? Give the people the solutions, allow them to pick their meter. Kicking isn't fun. Special teams isn't football. I don't care what's for the brand and what's not. It's not true. Let me play the actual fun part of football. If I want to kick the ball, I'd play soccer. All right? Next up, one of these year's ball carrier movies won't rely on CPU animations, missing tackles, and rely instead on space and reaction to make misses. This is a hard one, dude. This is a hard one for me to teach you guys what I mean here. So, how you beat a user... You can either right stick to like juke, spin, move in space, right? Because they have human reactions. You really can't beat a CPU very well shifting side to side with your left joystick because they have perfect reactions to your left joystick input. They will instantly switch on a dime because they get the input on defense the same time you put it in on offense. That's what the computer is, okay? So how you get the computer to miss in the open field is by forcing them into animations. You got to use your jukes, and they go in that slip and slide like the Keystone Cops. You hit a spin button, the B button, and then you get a spin, and they go, whoa, like that. It makes it look realistic. But here's the thing. Man, maybe that hit in like 1986 when Prince of Persia first released, but like that doesn't really work. I don't care. It's cool. You jump over a gap, and then you get that slipping animation, momentum holds. Whatever. That was fine in the 80s, but it doesn't make for a good game. It might make it look more realistic because the guys are realistically slipping to your ball carrier moves, but it makes it less fun. I'd rather have a more fun gameplay than one that's animation based and like looks more realistic, because that's not fun. The animations are not enjoyable. When I click on and my guy gets sucked into an animation, I have no user control over it. That's bad game design. Okay, so I would like, and my dream is the left stick in conjunction with the spin, the juke. What happens is the space that I move on the field allows me to beat tacklers, and I won't have to force them into animation to beat them. Because breaking ankles is fun no matter whether they get a slip and slide animation or they just stand there looking like an idiot. It's still hilarious. So changing the computer to allow you to beat them with spacing and field, or like say you get them on an arm tackle, the real football stuff, that I think is more enjoyable because that's more stick skill, right? The left stick is the skill. Moving back and forth. Remember we got like the quick stop stuff with the left stick? Oh man, we haven't had that since last generation, dude. The actual control of the left stick and the inputs that you put becoming the field and what you see on the field is that's the dream, man. That is truly the dream in my opinion. 3-man cut rushes are kind of juiced at times with the insta-sheds, especially double teams. Double teams get split at like a crazy rate, even when they're lower rated. Like I said above, pass rushes don't seem to rely on attributes. Like, at least in my sample size looking at the game, like I'll have like guys with like 70 block shed, and we'll talk about other things where the attributes seem not to matter in a second. Like split a double team. Like my guys, I have just like better players, and they still lose on a double team at too consistent of a basis. So it's very frustrating. Insta sheds, like where I have the better blocker than they have the defensive tackle, happens way too often also. I'm fine with guys like losing blocks, but like an insta shed, like they have unstoppable force X factor active, like that's a little much, man. These are run stuffing nose tackles. They should not be insta shedding the best of the best offensive linemen. No play creator yet. I don't know what's going on with that, why they have not added into the game yet. Football's biggest strength is a strategy between the two minds, so allowing us to get more deep in the strategy instead of like pre-sticking with the EA strategy, then making our own hot routes. It would really help things out. Yeah. I don't know why I can't move players pre-snap and not have them snap back. I gotta be able to push a guy somewhere, and then they stay there. Unless I like flip the play, then go ahead and move him back. Move him and flip him to the reside, because I wanted to, the offense flipped and I flipped. But other than that, like, just stick there. Stop moving my linebackers back. Stop moving my defensive linemen back. That's some stuff you put in the game 10 years ago to stop from nanos happening. But we have too many things nowadays to defend against nanos for you to not remove that. Baseline got removed. Like, they come out in 4 strong, then all of a sudden, like, one player's on the wrong side of the field. I got like a cover 4 flat route, but it's generated from the other side of the field. I'm like, okay, well, this is stupid. So then they manually drag him over. Then the offense flips and the other guy flips over, and it's utter disaster. I'm like, I don't care that they remove baseline. I truly don't, because there's no baseline in real life. The coverage shells are basically our baseline now. It does make it very easy to diagnose different coverages and stuff with like the couple yards difference that you can see between cover 4 and cover 2, man coverage and all that stuff. So shells should be the way of the future. We'll see if it ends up happening and good enough. Auto set slides. So I don't know if you guys know this. Previous years, your linemen would all come out in a base set. Five wide, bunch, whatever. They just had a base blocking, the adjust from there, slide or whatnot. Now they come out in auto slides for no reason whatsoever, because it's more realistic. But it's not fun. There should be a toggle where I can toggle off the auto slide pass protection. So that way I can either leave it auto slide for simulation reason or turn it off because guys will just get insta A gaps or blitzes come home a lot better against some of that stuff. And like every time I had to go to the line of scrimmage, I have to reset my blocking against somebody that knows what they're doing. Overall, a miserable experience to add more pre-snap adjustments when it's already so hard to make pre-snap adjustments. Come on, EA. Stop making our life so difficult, please. You do this in college football, too. At least like in college football, I know they hate their gameplay audience. At least they're competitive, which I'm fine with, right? If their dedication is, kill the competitive at college football, I'm here for it, right? The audible, under 5 seconds, you get a false start. I get it. But not in Madden, man. Not in Madden. Please give us more options and, like, online head-to-head not be as miserable like it is in college. All right, next up. Quarters. Okay, so this is a major balancing problem. So if somebody comes out in, like, a tight set, this was, like, a major meta a few years ago. It's back, obviously. I don't even know if it ever left. But basically, you come out. Clint promised us a few years ago, they run a corner route at your cover 3 or cover 4. With no clear out, you should be able to take care of that. Now, people just run the corner routes right at it, depending on the sharpness of the corner. Certain corners work, certain corners doesn't, and they can just throw underneath your zones. And, like, they don't play it. They don't knock it out. Obviously, your defense plays a little bit better, later in the year with knockout abilities, but you shouldn't need knockouts for the defense to properly leverage itself here. So, overall, I'm a little frustrated that guys can just, like, throw it over and over and over again and again and again against deep quarters, leveraged outside, and get away with that without getting it picked or anything. So very frustrating how poorly locomotived the defenders are in zone coverage, right? They slow boat it out there where receivers are running like full speed or mostly full speed out there. So yeah, like the crazy thing like I have written here, if you run a concept in offense, streak, corner, flat, the cornerback oftentimes plays that better, depending on the corner. But like the cornerback oftentimes plays the actual football concept way better than just running a corner at it. And I'm like, this ain't right. So it is what it is. That's Madden, baby. Next page. Double moves don't work against man or match. Why are they in the game? What's the point of a sluggo route? It used to actually have something. It actually countered man coverage. Double moves. It used to counter man coverage. Now, it's just out there for the vibes. Why? Like, it's the same thing with Portland concepts and cover 4s. If it's not going to be used, if we can't use it like they use it IRL, why have it in the game, right? If you say, we want man coverage to be overpowered, we cannot have double moves beat it. Take it out of the game, man. Don't give us the illusion of choice. Thank you. That's my TED Talk. Next up. DBs don't animate on INTs at time. Yeah, they just stand there flat-footed. Another problem with zone. They watch the ball come at them. They'll like break on it, and then they'll stop, wait for the guy to get the catch, and then they'll try and hit him. And I'm like, can't we get more two-man interactions or some interaction triggering for this spot? I don't know why. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe he's born with it, but very similar to this clip I showed earlier about the guy not animating on the spec catch touchdown, right? why doesn't 31 do anything right there? Why isn't he also trying to take the guy's head off or punch the ball out or do whatever he can in a clear situation where he should be punching now? Punch that ball. The ball was right in your face. Punch it out, man. These guys are taught from the bottom level of football all the way up to do it. All right. Next up, users still aren't powerful. I want change of direction better for users. Top end speed, speed is speed. That's a number. Increase change of direction, increase acceleration on users, please. I need them to be fun. There's too much lag for online controller. It's the infamous Kurt Ben Kirk moment in the pre-access gameplay footage release. He threw the ball directly at Fendler, but it was slightly behind the receiver. And so he called it back shoulder. Even though it was a terrible read, terrible throw, Fendler should have caught the interception. But because there's so little time to react in a situation like that with just natural lag, that he got away with it and scored a touchdown. The nerfing of the users needs to stop. Side-to-side nerfing. Give me more animations. Get them. Give me more things impossible. Stop making it easy to pick on users. Users should be the big bad avoid sign. Now, the only downside of that is that, switch sticks are crazy now. The only way to really get a good user is by switch sticking. And so if you buff a user and if you buff switch sticks, defense might be swinging the battle in its favor, which I'm okay with, man. Offense has been easy for a while now. We can make it a defensive Madden. I ain't going to complain. What we're going to do is send the complaints to EA just like we're doing right now. Right? I don't know. It is kind of crazy with the switch stick. When you see someone switch stick, they understand the route concept and they go ahead and play it. When the computer sees that same route concept, they're like, huh? I was just born yesterday. What's going on here? So it's interesting, do they not have the AI to play these concepts correctly to where their leverage and fundamentals and their zone coverage call is? Because it doesn't feel that way, which is why switch sticking is powerful, because you take over for a dumb computer, which is why a lot of people like squads, because you don't have the dumb computer playing a lot of your coverage for you. So, I don't know. EA and AI don't go together that well, right? But it feels like they just want to make offense easy and defense hard because it sells more copies. Although I say all these complaints, I am fearful when the game gets worse, though, right? The game overall is good. You just went through, 5-10 minutes of me complaining about problems, maybe longer. And I'm like, the game's actually good. But there's still things to work on. There's always things to work on. Nothing's perfect. But yeah, hook zones are terrible. They don't play drags or verts or posts. I don't know. They made them dumb. You can't even shade them under. I played against a guy yesterday. I could not stop him just hitting a drag route, right? He had mesh every time. I would take one guy, he'd throw the other guy. And I'm like, huh. Okay. Or he did a seam streak. He never knew what a post was. It was seam streak and drags. I put my hooks on 5s. He could still throw it under 5s. Put your hooks on 0s, seam streaks all day long. Brought my blues into the box. I think he had an out route on me once. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a man. Oh, whatever. I don't know, man. It's a frustrating game. Franchise 0 out of 10. But yes, please make shade unders valuable on hook zones. And shade up. Make shade ups, take care of posts, and seam streaks. Franchise was a friggin' joke. When I wrote this, I was banging on my keyboard. To the extent that I might have needed to buy a new keyboard if I went any harder. I was so angry thinking about franchise in this franchise. During stream, I put a timer on my phone. 6 seconds. I clicked on a player's card. 6 seconds from the click to I actually see the player card. Are you kidding me? Miserable experience. I don't care about anything else that they add to the game. There could be Nirvana behind the menu. I'd never get there. It's just too long. I'm not playing the game when it's that bad. Now, okay, you can say, hey, Fox, you should have auto-simmed their player upgrades. You didn't have to go play a card. Why? That's the best part of the game, is going to the player cards, messing with them. Those are your RPG elements. I don't want to see these coaching RPG elements. I don't care about coaches. I really don't. I care about the franchise. I care about the players. EA improved the coaches. Who cares, man? Seriously, who cares? Who roots for coaches? Nobody, man. Right? Philadelphia had a Hall of Fame coach. They kicked his ass out of town because he wasn't winning enough for the franchise. Nobody cares. They were calling on Walrus on the way out of town. I saw those comments, Philadelphia. Anyways, Mutt, 20% of the game in my final review. I gave it a 7 out of 10 so far. I have a feeling Mutt's going to get a lot worse because of how bad Cut is. But budget cards being back is awesome, right? Oh, I didn't talk about this. That Donta Thornton, that 72 overall, 6'5" guy with like 70 catches everything in coverage. He's won me games bombing coverage, catching it over a dude in traffic. So catching another stat like pass rush stats that should matter, that don't. But the fact that we have budget cards back, good work, Mutt team. I am a little bit concerned what happens when with our pack odds, when budget cards go away and our golds aren't valuable, because it might get pretty brutal pretty quick. Card art isn't a disaster. Now, card art's been pretty good over the years. By disaster, I mean that the window thing from McDonald's where you couldn't even see half the card. You could only see like an eye poking out. Here's Johnny. Style stuff. I guess that was the whole face. Anyways, I'm glad that we're back to actual cards. Limiteds got that weird borders, but like it's kind of like there's special inserts and packs, which I'm totally cool with. Coin Frenzy pack. I might do a whole video on this, man. I've been thinking about it, getting ideas why EA is afraid of the market. It's crazy, dude. They should not have removed it whatsoever. It wasn't even a glitch. Solo event's a major win. But the other event right now is kind of glitched. But the solo event's awesome because the rewards they're giving. So good job, EA, on that. The bad. Packs are bad. And the only way to pull the good high cards out of toppers again this year. It is crazy to me, they said, and they bragged about in Mutt blog, like, oh, this year you have a chance to pull limiteds from packs. Like, we didn't have that chance last year. There were packs without the actual cards in them, and you didn't let us know? That's a scam, man. If anybody was going to sue over anything, that'd be that. But yeah, like I said, once we lose the budget golds, EA could easily make budget cards profitable all year and keep packs up with value by making sets, right? Gold Master set. Remember we had the Elite Master set? There's so many things to bring values to those low cards through different settage and reroll opportunities that I really hope they do. But this is EA. They generally get lazy after a while, which makes me sad for Mutt. I don't know where we don't have formation subs in Mutt, especially with the changing of like the D line, right? The formation subs are kind of weird. The new Will, the new Mike versus linebacker, edge rushers versus DM to LBs, that kind of stuff. It screws up some formation. I don't know, 3-4. I haven't fully digested who goes where and what with nose tackle. I don't know. Why don't we have all the alternate uniforms on launch? Don't know why. They're just waiting until season 2. They're in the game. You've done it before. How hard is it? You've already got the hard part done. Just put them in Mutt. And then the biggest bad thing about Mutt, EA's greedy. And we're going to see it again this year. Superstar mode. Didn't play it. Don't care. Audio. People seem to love the soundtrack. You can turn off the misses that you don't like, which is awesome. But I don't really listen to it or the announcers in the game. We're vibing out. I got my own soundtrack, got my own audio. You will hear, obviously, the plays on the field. That's nice. That's always been fine. So audio, I didn't end it to the grind because I didn't end up really caring or never listened to it anyways. Graphics. Game looks good. The likeness on players, it's rough at times. But I do like the intros that they added to it. So I gave it a 9 out of 10 because, it could be way worse, man. We could be in the Emily Show community, and, you got people saying the graphics are fine even though they haven't changed for 8 years. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. And EA does update their graphics every year. So I do want to give them a shout and a good credit for actually doing work in that method instead of just, relying on... Okay, not to make this an MLB thing, but has there been ever a game that's gotten so much money but done so little for their product? It's one of the up there games of that all time. At least Madden improves this year to year. Final review, 8.5 times 50%, plus 0 times 20%, plus 7 times 20%, plus 9 times 10%. I'm giving Madden 26 right now a 6.55 with franchise the reason why it's so low. Franchise actually is dead to me until they fix that loading issue, which is kind of crazy how much they bragged about the loading issue during their pre-thing. Like, oh, we worked on so many of the menus. And the player cards have never been worse. So, I don't know, sometimes the devil's there when you're working on the hardest, and he decides to do his dirtiest work. And it kind of blows my mind how they I don't know, man. Did they put all of the loading sins into like one spot? They're like, let's put it on Frank. Frank's the guy we blame all the problems at work on. And clicking on player cards is the Frank of Madden. Anyways, that's it. Let me know what you guys think for Madden. Overall, it's an enjoyable time. 6.55 is not my overall impression grade. It's my average grade. My overall impression grade is that I like it. I'm spending a ton of hours on it. So there it is, boys. Become a member for more benefits than ARP. Bye.